it's so great to see you guys. Thanks for watching. Can I ask you for a favor, if you don't mind? Can you write down, I feel terrific today in the comment section below? Help me engage with you. I want to connect with you. I want to authentically know how you're doing. And also, if you have any questions that maybe I can answer for you in a video, I would love to do that for you. So don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and share and tell all of your friends about the connections that you're making. And I will see ya on the flip side.
It's so nice to see you again, Suzanne. Okay.
It's so nice to see you, Terry. My daughter, my extra daughter.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. That's so kind of you. Thank you. Okay, so we're here for an abundance coaching session. Okay, so
What is that?
Right, exactly, right. So what I'm going to share with you, I want to just get first an understanding of how much you know about bringing in abundance and manifestation, because the reason why I call them coaching sessions, because we're not going to be able to even tackle like this much of it in one session, but I want to at least be able to give you a really good understanding of the like fundamentals. And then when I do coaching, it's like we work together with the support on an ongoing, system. But I want to get you, just some underlying, some fundamental, concepts. And I'm also going to email you basically like formulas, because there are formulas and techniques to shift energy and experiences too. The experiences are things that we do together.
Okay.
It's an entire process. It's to manifest, right? To bring in and to call and create something from nothing and what you want, not just something from nothing. Like we're going to have with intention and attention, like what it is that we want to create. Right.
Yeah.
So what is abundance? Right. Well, what's your definition of abundance?
I think it really is that in a way, like what you call into your environment, and that it comes from a higher place, and that it feels really good. You belong. You have love in your life. You experience love and gratitude. I don't see it as money necessarily. It's like we need money, but to me, abundance is like a natural state, kind of.
Well, yeah, it's our birthright. It's our birthright to be abundant. And you hit it on the head, or you hit the head on the nail, or the nail on the head.
Yeah.
You'll get a lot of isms with me because my brain thinks faster than my mouth speaks. But you really pegged it because it's about a feeling. From feelings is what we manifest and what we bring in. Abundance, usually people, when they think about abundance, it's like they want more than what they currently have. Whether it's more happiness, whether it's more joy, whether it's a car, whether it's a relationship, a job, whatever it is, it's more than what they have right now. And they know that if they have it, they would feel better. Right? That's just the bottom line. It's like we all just want to feel better. Yeah. So that's really what abundance is. And the way that I teach and coach and hopefully help empower people is through using their energy, which is scientific in nature. Like that's not the woo part, right? It all comes down to energy, right? And so there are like certain concepts and certain ways of doing things, but it comes down to how we feel. And at every given moment is what we are creating. And we're creating based off of what we're feeling, which actually is a really cool thing because it gives you more control over life than what you think may be happening. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
because we use our feelings as indicators. Okay.
Yeah. Can I stop you for a second?
Yeah.
I feel like I already know everything you're talking about.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
both Ivy and I don't know if you remember that Ivy's my daughter and you did a reading for Ivy a while
Right.
back. Okay. So we both joined up for this thing called To Be Magnetic.
Oh, okay.
So it's all about like self-hypnosis in a way. It's like
Right.
hypnotizing yourself and getting really clear about energetic blocks and your everything.
Okay.
But I've been doing this for years, The Secret and all that
Right.
bullshit.
Well, it's more than, I don't want to call it bullshit. It is part of it, but it's more than.
Well, I want to give you, I feel the reason I wanted to do this is because I feel like Sisyphus. Do you know who Sisyphus is?
No, learn me.
He's, I think, a Greek character.
Okay.
You know who he is, who's pushing a rock up a hill.
Right. Okay.
All the way, almost to the top, and the ball, and it rolls all the way back down.
Okay.
This is my experience of my life. Like, I never quite get there. And I also never quite get where I'm supposed to be, how to do it, what I should be doing. I am such a fickle and, that looks really interesting. I want to try that. I do that for 10 minutes. So I am very curious to know why there's definitely a disconnect when it comes to manifesting what I at least think I want, because what usually happens is, for me, the more emotion and intensity I have around an issue, not going to happen. Not ever going to happen.
Well, that's because, do you understand how energy works? Because it's such a fundamental, important concept to know how energy works in order to create abundance.
Yeah. I don't know.
Right. So, okay. So I'll share with you information. And if you already know it, you just stop me.
Okay.
But this is like a little bit more science-y part of it. So energy is made up of waves and particles. Okay. How they behave and how fast they move create either energy or matter. Okay, so you understand that? So the slower
is matter.
And the
higher is creativity.
And the higher is energy. Well, we're going to use energy and matter. And matter, we're going to use it synonymously also with like density and heaviness and it being slower.
Yes.
Okay, so energy is faster and higher. Okay, there's no judgment on it, like no ego judgment. It's just that's the way, that's behavior of subatomic particles.
Right.
So Einstein, a lot of these folks through all this work, what they realized, there's something that's called the collapsible wave. Okay, which means when there is a tension on an energy wave, remember, energy wave is higher and faster. When there's a tension placed on it, it collapses. So it collapses into itself, and then it becomes particle. It becomes dense and matter, which means it starts moving slower. So when we apply that to bringing in or manifesting, what that says is the more you place your awareness on something, the more you place your attention on something, the slower it's going to come to you. Good.
That's my experience.
Right. So what you're activating is the universal law of repulsion. You're pushing it away. So what you want to learn is how to not push it away. Right. And the way you do that is by not paying attention to it. But that's not something that you learn how to do, and not just you, it's humans, it's everybody.
Yeah.
So the more we want something, the less we get it because we put so much placement and focus and attention on it. And we're activating the collapsible wave function.
Right. Got it.
Simple in theory.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I get it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Hard in practice.
Right.
So what is it that you want to bring more into your life?
I want to bring, well, so many, it feels like so many different changes. We talked about the first time when we talked about my moving.
Okay.
And you said that you didn't see me moving necessarily far because I needed to be close to Ivy.
Okay. And you'll have to forgive me because I channel that information and I don't remember. So you'll have to thank you for reminding me and not taking it of being offended that I don't remember. Okay, great.
Not at all. Yeah. And I felt that, you know, like my energy responded to that in almost like a flip opposite way.
Okay.
Like I'm thinking, okay, so I pursued that line, like looking around closer to where I live now. I already knew when you mentioned it that I can't afford to live anywhere, you know, around here. I live in Santa Monica now. Okay. Anywhere in LA is completely prohibitive for me. I'm in rent control, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
And I realized I don't want to be here.
Nice.
I've known this for 10 years something, where I'm very clear I need to be in a country, rural environment. I need to be where I feel like people are sane.
Good luck finding sanity, but okay.
Right? Yeah. I get it. I know, but I want to be reflected in the people I see.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make some money. I'm not making any money right now other than beautiful COVID, what do you call it? You know, unemployment.
Right.
And obviously relationship, we talked about relationship as well with someone. But what keeps coming up for me is a mismatch of where I am, who I'm surrounded by, and what I really ultimately want.
Right. Well, it sounds to me that since our conversation, you were able to get some more clarity, which is you don't want to stay where you are.
Yeah.
And it's for X, Y, and Z reasons. So that's always the first step that you have to do is look at what is it that I want and what is it that I need. Mm-hmm. Because unless you know that, then the universe can't help you out because your energy is mismatched. So you understand that and you get that, and that's beautiful. So here's the thing, understanding how energy works just in at least that function of the collapsible wave function. And the more you place your attention on something, the more you push it away. What have you been overthinking? What have you been
very easy
ruminating on?
Yes.
And about?
Yes.
Right. So that's the first understanding, right?
Good.
So what has it been? So we can work this out. What has it been?
Family. It's been guilt.
Family. Okay. Guilt.
About leaving my mom now, who it's bringing up so much anxiety and so much denseness for me.
Yes.
She's having surgery tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is it tomorrow? The next day, whatever. And I'm her caregiver.
Yeah.
I've always been her caregiver. I don't like her. I just don't like her. I don't like being around her. Her energy is awful. She was a terrible mother. Wow. I'm an HSP, whatever, you know, are you familiar with that term?
No, I'm not, but I'm feeling what you're saying. So
yeah, good. Yeah. So I want to get as far away from her as possible.
Yeah.
I love her, but we are not compatible.
So I'm hearing you say guilt. I'm hearing you say guilt, and I'm hearing you say obligation. And the guilt is coming from the obligation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even in just that information there, when we're talking about fast moving frequency and slow moving frequency, where do you think those fit in? Yeah. Yeah.
I feel, yeah, it's all heavy emotion, heavy stuff.
Right.
I know. Yeah.
So when we're talking abundance, manifestation, creation, all of those things, and you know this from the course that you've taken, but there's a difference between working it out individually right now and being able to see where it is, and then how to go. So let's just use those frequencies right now: guilt and obligation. And I'm sure there's a lot more, but we just have this one time together for right now, right? So you have those two frequencies, which are slow moving frequencies, right? If we want to put this towards, let's just say, the goal of moving, yes?
Yeah.
You've got that. So we have the goal of moving, because let's go here. How would you feel if you were to move? Like if you had your ideal, if you had your like ideal perfect house, home where you moved to, how would you feel?
Awesome.
Awesome. Okay, that's one. Let's get a few more emotions. Excited. Awesome.
The sense of finally.
Okay, what does that mean? What does that mean?
I've arrived. It's like I created something I wanted. So it's.
Would that be the accomplishment?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm trying to break it down to frequencies. Energetic frequencies. So we would feel awesome.
Definitely accomplishment,
excitement. What else?
Terror.
Okay, wait. We got to figure out
I know that's not high frequency, but that's in there.
But there's something else about terror. See, there's a judgment going on with terror, because it's not necessarily terror. What if it was just unknown, which is what?
Scary.
But you're going to scary, but can't it be mystical, mysterious, curiosity?
It depends on the actual location, why I'm moving. I mean, it really does.
Right.
But be triggered by, all those things.
But we're not there yet. We're just
Imagine.
going to, right. Like, how would you feel if you had the ultimate home or space to live? I hear awesome.
Totally excited.
Accomplished. What else?
Probably peaceful. I would imagine a nice sense of peace.
Okay.
And like ownership, I don't know, that's not really a frequency, I don't think, but it's like accomplishment, ownership, pride.
Okay, pride. I would actually argue that ownership is a frequency.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so feel that in your body. Like, how does that feel? That feels freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Right? Now think about your mom.
No, thank you.
No, thank you, right? You're like, Let me ask you this question. What are most of the thoughts that are going through your head on any given day?
I can't.
Meaning you can't.
Mostly I can't.
Okay.
Can't leave.
Okay, so can't leave.
Can't leave, get too far from Ivy. Can't leave my mother. Can't afford. Don't want to do it alone, whatever it is. I also have this real sort of itch for travel.
Yeah.
Safe travel.
Sure.
I want to be free. So I feel very contracted.
Okay. Contraction versus freedom.
Yeah.
Right? So that house or that place to live, if we were to give it an ultimate, it would be freedom. And anything other than that would be
freedom.
Contraction. Right? Right?
Yeah.
It would be contraction. So what you want is here, and where you are is here. And what do we know about these slower moving waves?
They go very slow.
They
push away, they repel.
They're only being repelled if you're placing your attention on it. Okay. So let's work this out a little bit more, because this is really good stuff. right? So you have a goal, freedom, house. That's how you want to feel when you have your house. So the physical manifestation, physical manifestation is the house. The actual manifestation, so listen to what I'm saying, because this is going to be something to really, really grasp. The actual manifestation is the feeling, which is freedom.
Right.
If you were to feel freedom,
right,
would it really matter that you had the house? Because ultimately that's what we want. The reason why we want things or we want to bring our things is to have a feeling.
Right.
Yes?
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
Right.
When you're, so the reason why I asked you to what are your thoughts? Because we speak to ourselves more than we speak to anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So literally the conversation you're having over and over and over yourself is I can't. So when you're saying I can't,
the universe goes, okay.
Well, the universe always gives what you ask for. So right now, the vibration, your signal, and you already know this from the class that you've already enrolled in. That's your signal. That's what your ask. That's the ask of the universe, that I can't. So the universe is going to go, cool, I'm going to give you what you want. Here's some more what you can't. And it's reflected, because you even said, I want to be reflected in sane people, right?
Exactly.
I want, so in order to get that reflection, it means we got to change your broadcasting signal. So how do you do that? So if we know that our feelings, this is how we know, our thoughts create our feelings. Our feelings are the electromagnetic signals, the broadcasting signals in energy. So it's energy in motion, also known as an emotion, yes? Right? So our thoughts create how we feel, and then how we feel ends up ultimately how we behave. So how we think, how we feel, and how we act is what creates our reality. So if you're feeling I can't, you're going to prove yourself right by taking actions of canting. So the first step in any of this is just really becoming really aware, very mindful, and very conscious of your thoughts. That's like the very first step, just because we know that energy has waves. And the higher an emotion, the faster it moves, the faster we can get it. The slower, and that's only because we live in a dimensional reality of time where there's time. So it takes a while for slower moving frequencies to come up, which is why physical reality of like a house, money, all
doesn't
of that,
matter. Right.
Doesn't matter. It's science. A house vibrates at a much lower, slower frequency.
Right.
You yourself physically, because you're made of energy and matter. Right. So we can look at you as physical and non-physical.
Right.
So currently your non-physical and your physical are at the same place. So we got to get your non-physical here so that your body can, and when I say your body, I'm talking about your physical reality, everything around you. So this makes sense, right?
Yes.
So how do you do all of this? You have to feel your way to close that gap.
Yeah.
So how, now that I gave a little brief, explanation, how do you feel better?
By feeling better.
Right? No, that's legit. By feeling better. But what comes before feelings?
Thinking. So thinking better thoughts. Or
it doesn't even necessarily have to be better thoughts, but different thoughts.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can catch myself.
Okay, so that's the first step. Yeah.
Okay, so if I can catch myself, I mean, obviously my body is telling me, am I feeling good about myself or am I not feeling good about myself? It's like, am I saying really negative things about myself right now, or am I loving and peaceful with myself?
Yeah. But you can go even more general than just yourself. You can just say, am I feeling good or am I feeling bad? That's how you know
Right.
It's again, our feelings are indicators. That's it. That's how we know. And ideally, we don't want to judge ourselves and put worthiness to, you know, if we do feel bad. I mean, it's part of the human experience, right?
Yeah.
So it's the first thing is the awareness, because now we know whatever we're feeling is what actions we're going to actually take to prove ourselves right, and it will be reflected in our reality. So if we know we have to think differently to cause a different feeling, which causes a different behavior, it means we can't keep doing the same thing that we've been doing. So we do have to change. So how we come about those thoughts and all of that, like, it's a very unique, tailored process that we figure out as we, you know, go on and learn. But some of the things that you can do, like in terms of exercises from like today forward, you know, and they're going to set, like, one of them is going to sound totally cliche, but the question is, are you doing it? Right. So here's the thing. Everything has an energetic frequency to it. Do you agree with that? Do you understand that?
Absolutely.
Do you believe we live in a vibrational universe?
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, you have to, like, in order to do any of this work, you have to have that basic belief system.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I sometimes think about, it's so interesting. I think about, I'll look at an object and I'll think, it doesn't have to necessarily be there. It's like a collection. It's moving so fast that it creates denseness or matter. It's like nothing.
And that's like what quantum physics is all about, that it's actually not a solid world, right? So you get that.
I'm big into figures. I'm big into figures.
I love it. Me too.
Oh,
and I'm always learning, and I do not I don't even know like even this much about it.
Yes, but I'm fascinated by that, and it makes so much sense for our world.
Right. Yeah. So that means, so if we look at that, that means everything that we look around us in physical reality probably isn't even real.
Right.
But it's how we are perceiving the behavior of those subatomic particles. So that's what it looks like to us. That's what it looks like to us. That's what it looks like to us. And we live our lives based off or from that lens of our perception. So what we do is, and this is total normal human behavior, we take what we see as reality.
Yeah, right.
So if we're doing that, and we're using that reality as a screen for our thoughts.
Yeah.
And our thoughts are causing how we feel, and our feelings are causing us to behave in a certain way to create, again, there's this like loop. It's called a feedback loop, right? So we got to change something, right? So we have to start by saying, or considering, this is what I always like to say, just consider, you put it on like a coat. You don't like it, you take off the coat. You can always buy a new coat. Just consider that what you're seeing or what people are saying or what's happening isn't the truth.
Right.
Yeah. That consideration in itself will change a thought.
Okay.
So that's like, but we have to I call it coming online. We have to come online to ourselves and become aware of that, right? So that's like, it theoretically sounds easy, but being humans with egos, and since it's a new thing, it's a new behavior we have to build. And behaviors become belief systems over consistency over time. So it's something that we have to do over time, right? So once we can change our thought, we feel different, and then, you know, we behave different and we get different, right? So what are some ways that we can change the way we think? First of all, considering that what we're seeing or experiencing isn't even real. We're seeing it out of the lens of our perception. What if we took stock of whatever we have actually experienced? So this is like a twofold exercise. What if what have we actually experienced in our physical 3D world that we enjoyed or brought us joy or made us feel a higher frequency, right? You can think of that as what happened to you today that you were grateful for, that you appreciated, that you're thankful for, that just felt good, right? Mm-hmm. So when they're talking, and it's so cliche, when they're talking like taking stock and being grateful and writing and listing down all the grateful things, the thing is, people think it has to be a certain way, like it has to be some big grandiose thing. But how about finding a parking spot right in front of the store?
I've done this so many times.
Yes, you have. And you'll do it 1,000 more times, but that's only part of the process. So you're not completing the process. So when you're asking, well, I'm almost there and I never get there, it's because you're not completing the process.
Okay.
Right? So just, again, consider that. You don't like it, you don't have to take it, but it is part of the process. Because what does that do? Suzanne, what does it do when you take
it raises makes me feel better.
Right. And what is the whole goal of all of this?
To feel better.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the first step, right? So the first step is looking at what reality actually is.
And what if you don't find anything to be grateful for? Like
there's always something. It means you're not doing the exercise right. And I don't mean to, I don't sugarcoat and I don't bullshit, but you're not doing it right. You're thinking too big.
Okay.
So you can think super small. You can even,
right. I'm so grateful for my bed.
Oh my God. I woke up this morning. I'm so grateful I have a toothbrush to brush my teeth.
Right. Exactly.
So again, that's expectation. That's judgment, human ego. So there is, I'm sorry. Listen, I've been to India, that train station, you see like the weirdest fucking shit. And let me tell you something, the poorest of poor is ready to give you their last meal. Right. They're grateful you said hi to them. Don't tell me there is not one thing. And I'm going to get on your case for that. Not just yours, everybody else's, but.
No, I totally get it. That's a good example. Mm-hmm.
It's expectation. Like, how are you seeing things? Again, we got to see things different. We have to do everything different to get different, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that's the first part. Now, the second part is finding gratitude, appreciation, thankfulness for something that hasn't happened yet. Mm. So you don't see that in your physical reality. Mm-hmm. And what does that mean? It means you have to use your imagination.
Yeah.
And it means you have to believe in something that doesn't exist yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have to maintain that belief, because you know what you're doing? Let me tell you what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're planting seeds of fast, higher frequencies, right? Because they make you feel good. And it's gonna take time, but your physical body, the physical reality will match it. But the moment you stop believing, guess what happens? Mm-hmm. Game over, start over, put in another quarter. And again, these are just techniques. These are just little things. There's so much. There's a lot out there, but it's always about how you're feeling in any given moment, right? So something you can be doing is in the evening, you can write down all the wonderful things. I don't care how big or small, every single one. Okay. You're going to go through like your physical reality, what you actually are grateful for.
Okay.
In the morning, you're going to write out a whole list of everything that you're grateful for that hasn't happened yet.
Okay. So I can say I am grateful for traveling to Ireland. I am so grateful for.
Yes. However, there's a caveat. You're going to do it as if it's already happened, because remember, you have to have gratitude for something. In Ireland? So you're grateful to have been to Ireland and traveled to Ireland. And you have to believe through how you feel that it happened. So let's break this shit down, girl. How would you feel if you'd gone to Ireland?
Awesome!
What else would you have felt besides awesome?
Well, I just took a deep breath. So like, I'm finally here. So a sense of accomplishment.
Good.
Beauty. Like I'm seeing so much beauty, and
Love it.
kindness from people and history. And
what about the history do you like?
I love history, love everything about it.
How does it make you feel? Remember, it's feeling.
Connected.
Oh, beautiful. So we're going to stop there.
I'm excited. It also.
When you went to Ireland, you felt connected. It was awesome. You felt accomplished. It was so exciting.
Really? Okay.
It hasn't happened yet, has it? No. But you felt it. So guess what? You just planted the seeds for your body, for your physical reality.
I feel so excited. It's so weird.
Hello. Now, think of your mom. Right. Now, when you watch this video, I want you to see your body language change. You were like, yes, and all of a sudden, like this. So do you see why it's so important to be aware of what we're saying to ourselves and our inner thoughts and all that? Literally.
Right. Yeah, it's like the wolf thing, you know, the bad wolf and the good wolf or whatever. It's depends which one survives depending on who you feed.
Yeah. So you just felt what it felt like to have been to Ireland. And now you guess what? You crossed that off your list. So the thing is that you have to practice that. That's why it's called practice. And there is no try.
Right.
You practice that.
Okay.
The more often you practice that, the more you are, the more often you're in that faster frequency. Now, what happens? And then you forget about it. So you felt it, you're done, you move on. Because what's going to happen if you continue thinking about it, Suzanne?
Nothing. Nothing's going to happen.
Why is nothing going to happen?
Because it lowers my vibrational frequency.
Okay, wait. Is it lowering your vibrational frequency?
If I keep thinking about it? Yeah.
Okay. So why is it, no. Why is it lowering your vibrational frequency?
Because I'm putting too much attention on it.
And what happens when you put too much attention on something?
It repels.
Yeah.
It makes it heavy and
it slows it down. It just slows it down. It's not even like bad or good. It just slows it down.
Yeah.
Right. So when you're doing that, you know, Ireland is so far away. It's like over there.
Right.
But literally, when we were going through this exercise, where was Ireland?
Right here.
Right here.
Yeah.
Did you really need to go to Ireland that way? No, but now when you go to Ireland, because you are in creation mode now, you are literally creating Ireland as a physical reality for yourself now. When you get there, holy fuck, right? Yeah. And that's actually going to be your past when you get there.
Right.
So you literally just time traveled. What you did was you chose a different timeline, changed everything in your current reality to now jump on that timeline to make that happen, because you thought differently, you felt differently, and now you're going to make different choices. So this is all coming together, right?
Yeah, it's
okay.
It's good.
So let's do a little bit of an energy exercise here to sort of manage. So you understand these two exercises that you can be using moving forward, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, the morning and the nighttime.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The gratitude ones, right? Yes. So I'm gonna send you a link to a YouTube video that I did an energy exercise. It's about 20 minutes or so. It's like just to help you release.
Okay, great.
Dense, heavy, negative emotion, because again, it slows things down, right? So we end up being in resistance to the flow of moving energy. So when you watch this video, the exercise we're going to do now is different. I'm going to get you in a heart and brain coherency, right? So we're going to match the brain and heart, because when those are in alignment, that's when creation happens. or a manifestation happens. But the exercise that I'm going to be sending you is to release and let go of that heavy, dense energy. Okay. So I'll email that to you. I'm also going to email you like a whole, like, which you probably already know, but I'll give it to you because it'll be in my words, different perspective or whatever. And you'll also have this recording to just sort of like, you know, work through this so you can have an idea of how to break it down and all of that. So, okay. So, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and close your eyes and just take in a really deep belly breath. So a deep belly breath is breathing into your tummy, really like fill it like a balloon. And when you exhale, you're going to exhale through your mouth. You're going to shape your lips like O. You're going to blow out. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So we're going to do 3 of those breaths, deep belly breaths. I'm doing it with you because I like to work with my clients. And now with your eyes closed, I just want you to sense the space around you. So the room that you're in, just tune your brain, just sense. It's all you have to do. Feel or sense, or even just think about the space that's around you in your room, in the room that you're in. And now while you're doing that, do some deep belly breathing at your own pace, okay? So that's it, just sensing the space that you're in. And in just a moment, I'm just going to ask you to sense the space around your house or your apartment or whatever property you're in. So go ahead and now expand that sensing awareness to around your house, to the space around your house. And now I'm going to ask you to sense yourself in the space around your city. So just expanding that consciousness, that sensation, and that awareness. Good. And you can just sit in that space. And if any thoughts are coming to your mind, that's okay. Don't even worry about trying to get rid of them. Don't worry about trying to push them away. You don't have to chase those thoughts, but just be aware if there are any thoughts going on in your head. Now, keeping your eyes closed, I'm going to ask you to take one of your hands and just tap on the center of your chest in your heart center area. And that's all you have to do, because now we're going to activate that heart center area, okay? So just find a comfortable breathing pattern for yourself, tapping on that chest area, and still being aware and noticing any thoughts that might be in your mind. That's okay. We're not pushing them away. We're actually welcoming them and embracing them.
You have a bird? Sorry.
I do. Yes, that's who you hear. Just keep tapping on your chest. And what you and I are doing is individually activating our heart energy. And the heart, what they're finding through lots of research, is that it's a larger electromagnetic field than the brain. So just keep breathing, keeping your eyes closed, tapping your heart. And because it's a larger electromagnetic field, it actually has the ability to transmute, change, alter, transform any feelings or emotions. So it's actually the healing center of the body. And they're also finding that there are neurons in the heart. So that means not only is your heart a heart, but your heart is also your brain. Isn't that lovely? So your heart is smart, super smart heart. So just keep tapping, keep breathing. Don't forget to breathe. I know I'm asking you to do a lot of things at once, to tap on your heart, to breathe, and allow thoughts coming to your mind. So in just a moment, I'm going to ask you to drop all the thoughts that you're having in your head. You'll drop it into your heart, but first we're going to collect them. So go ahead and collect all of those thoughts that are rushing around in your mind. Bring them together, collect them in the center of your forehead, okay?
I'm not having any thoughts.
Ooh, even better, even better. So then go ahead and take in a nice deep breath for me. And on the exhale, drop that exhale into your heart. Good. So go ahead, we're going to take another deep breath and drop it into your heart. Good. So just keep tapping on the heart. In just a moment, I'm going to ask you to stop tapping on your heart, and I'm going to ask you to place both of your hands on your heart. And then we're going to ask your heart a question, and we're going to listen to what the heart has to say. Because the heart is your truth. Your heart will not lie to you. Your head will lie to you. Your heart will not lie to you. So at the count of 3, we'll take a deep breath, and then we'll place both of our hands on the heart. Beginning to count now. 1, 2, and 3. And now just sitting there for a brief moment, connecting to your heart. Now you're going to ask yourself this question. So repeat after me silently to yourself and feel into this question and listen or hear the first thought that comes to your mind. Here we go. What is my next step? Next step only. What is my next step that I need to take that will help me into my moving situation?
Nothing's coming.
That's okay too. So go ahead and you can remove your hands from your heart. You can open your eyes.
That I can't do.
You can flutter them open. You don't have to open them so fast. Okay, so nothing came to your mind, and that's okay. The heart, believe it or not, by activating and getting your heart into coherency, which is actually a practice, okay? It's a practice.
Yeah.
We just did it one time right now, but it's a practice. What they're finding is that getting those heart waves into coherency can last up to 6 hours. So what that means is if you don't have an insight or anything that comes to your mind right now, it can easily show up within the next 6 hours. However, I don't want you to be like, oh my God, I'm limited to only 6 hours. Because as you practice this and as you do this, what's happening is you're shifting your energy, and there's always a recalibration that happens. And typically a good recalibration can take up to 72 hours of energy work.
Yes.
So, and these insights can come at the weirdest moments, in the weirdest places. But by opening your heart and shifting your energy, what you're doing is you're placing yourself in the frequency of receptivity,
Right,
to receive that insight.
right.
And right now, I'm asking you to do things, so you're trying really hard to do.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not saying, I mean, I don't mean necessarily you, but I mean, like, it's a human thing to want to, like, do something when we're being asked in the moment.
No, but I'm actually saying not because I'm really in the moment with you. I'm not.
It's beautiful.
Trying. It's like, oh no, nothing came.
That's beautiful. That's the frequency, and that's the state of grace. So it and feel how that feels in your body, to be really present, because that's when magic happens. That's when we're in the gray area, not the black, not the white, the gray. Right. So this is something to practice, because it's not something that we do all the time, right?
Yeah.
So I threw a lot at you today, you know, and you had this brief experience, this time together. When I do the coaching and I'm working with people, you know, over a consistent time, you know, we don't have to rush so much in one session. We can have more time for energy work and all of that. So it's a process, right? The whole thing is a process. Yeah. And I really feel like I can feel your energy, and I feel like, you know, as of now, you're really managing expectations well, which is really nice. And so, you know, just being willing and open is where your power is. So by doing at least the 2 exercises that I showed you, and then you'll get that link of doing that energy release when you're feeling in those denser, heavier emotions. That helps kind of like go, like, if you're in a stream, it makes you go with the stream instead of slow, you know, like, right? Yeah. So again, these are just tools to just kind of help shift your energy, help things move along so that you're not in resistance, so that your frequency and your vibration moves faster. Right?
Is that one of them, the heart one that I'm
the heart? No, that's not. Well, that's what I do in person. Got it. But the other one is like an energy release that you can do anytime, all the time, whatever. Okay. I have a YouTube channel, and I do like twice a week, I do a meditation, and then I do like a healing mantra. So those are really nice supplementary things that you can do just to get you into various frequencies and of course into heart coherency. But let me tell you, Suzanne, you know, doing this, you know, anytime, anywhere, it activates that center. So that's
a great tool.
And not only that, you're also doing it by putting your hands here, just your, I don't know if you can see me. You know, just here. It helps me. I have a tendency to be an anxious person at times. So for me, what this does is this brings you into your body. So it collects your energy from the outside and it brings it in.
Yes.
So I'll oftentimes, just whenever my body is feeling anxious because my nervous system is stimulated, I'll just put my hand on my heart. This doesn't cost anything. This is free. This is like public knowledge. We're just not taught this.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, feel free to like do this or even like do this. And when I'm working with my clients, sometimes they're like, I'm standing in line at the market doing this. And they're like, I don't fucking care, because all that matters is how I feel in that moment, because that is what my reality is going to reflect to me.
Right.
You know, and this is us taking charge. We're not being at the whim and the chaos and banging around in the world. No. We are divine. We have divinity within us. And what is the divine? A creator. So that means we are creative, you know? So this is just allowing you to connect back to yourself, connect to the divine, and emulate the divine. That's what we're doing through this work, you know? And it's just really beautiful. And for a lot of people, it can seem scary. You're obviously open-minded, you know, but for a lot of people, this can be scary because it's new and it's different, and that puts us in the realm of the unfamiliar. And as humans, we like the predictable and the
though. This stuff is just,
it's because you know this stuff. What you're doing is you're remembering who you are. That's what it is, Suzanne. You're remembering who you are. This is who we really are. This is the non-physical that we're connecting to. We're so used to being physical that that's how we think reality is. And that's why it can be scary, not for you, but for a lot of people, it can be scary because it's unfamiliar. But you're just like, I'm open to remembering who I am. And that's it. That's all you're doing. And you are a creator.
Right.
You're a manifester. You're so sci-fi. You are so sci-fi. Yes. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
So in the brief amount of time that we have left, do you have any questions about what we did today?
No.
No? Okay, good.
I have a question from my lower self.
Okay.
Is it possible that my karma, or, you know, I believe that we change it and create our karma. You know, I don't believe it's necessarily fixed. But in my 62 years of life, is it possible that people are not meant to, like in this lifetime, not meant to achieve everything they're capable of achieving? Like, I know that's a terrible thought to even have or carry around. It's like a cancellation of everything that can manifest.
Right. So it depends on how you're going to look at things. So if you're going to look at things as a creator, no. So you can make a choice right now how you want to perceive this, right? As a creator or as a non-creator. Okay. So from maybe a more spiritual view versus like a quantum, view, from a more spiritual view, there are soul contracts, and there are things that we have to abide by, and learn from, that, which is why we choose the earth suits that we wear, and the characters in our story, so that it evolves our soul. Okay. So from that perspective, then yes, you may not fulfill every single thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't even mean every single thing.
Right. Well, right. So sometimes you will come back to, see if you can learn that lesson, check it off your soul list, right? But as a creator, and my belief system is really shifting, and as humans, we're always shifting and growing and changing based on as we remember who we are, because we really are, non-physical, infinite beings. I don't want to have that limitation. Because the feeling that I want to feel in this current lifetime is freedom and unlimitedness. And if I take on that belief system, then that limits me. I live in a world of contraction instead of expansion. So, it is and again, this is the thing about living in the third dimension of polarity and duality, is like we have free will and choice. So it is how you want to choose, Suzanne, how you want to look at it. So, you know.
Yeah.
So there you go. That was a great question.
Yeah, that was good because it puts it in a different perspective.
And that's all we can really ask for. That's
fairy
all
dust.
We can really, it's the fairy dust. It's so wonderful working with you, Suzanne. You're a beautiful soul. I love being in your energy. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. I appreciate it. Yeah. And I'm around if you have questions or you want to meet up again. I'm going to send you an email with like a little slideshow and the link to the exercise. So,
and what about your podcast? I know you have a podcast.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I do. I have a podcast. I also put them on YouTube. So they're on YouTube and they're on all of the like iTunes. So
if I go on my treadmill, I can listen to you.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah, it's on iTunes. It's called The Portal with Terry Huberman. Yeah. Awesome. And it's still new, so it's coming around, but I'm now having guests, and it's just I'm learning so much. I love it because I'm learning so much with, talking and chatting with people. So.
And Sunday, you're doing something Sunday.
Yes, also, Soul Connection Sunday. Yeah. Yes. And we have a shaman coming doing rattles, and he's going to be helping us with the connect to the energy of Goddess Kali, who is of destruction to rebuild. So like Phoenix. So if you're able to join us, that would be really great. All right, my dear, you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank
okay?
You so much. You too.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Oh, it's so great to see you guys. Thanks for watching. Can I ask you for a favor, if you don't mind? Can you write down, I feel terrific today in the comment section below? Help me engage with you. I want to connect with you. I want to authentically know how you're doing. And also, if you have any questions that maybe I can answer for you in a video, I would love to do that for you. So don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and share and tell all of your friends about the connections that you're making. And I will see ya on the flip side.